Okay, if you have difficulty in hitting chip shots, and ultimately you're hitting chip shots that really don't finish close enough to the hole, it could very well be your technique. But let's just pretend that you can't change your technique, and you always can, but for this video we're going to say that you can't change your technique. There's a law being passed that says you're not allowed to change your technique. We'll just bear with me for a minute. So given your current technique, I'm going to show you my 3-step process that I use when I'm assessing and hitting chip shots. So the step number 1 for me, and the very first thing I look at, is what is my lie like? So I'm in a little bit of the fringe here when I play this shot, but the ball is actually sitting up. So that's not going to have a huge impact on how the ball flies. If the ball was sitting down a little bit, that's going to make it more difficult for me to get a club underneath the golf ball. So I might not be able to play the more lofted shot in that situation. I might need to reassess and take out less loft, land it closer to me and allow the ball to run more. But with the ball sitting up quite nicely like it is now, it gives me a few more options. So that's really the first thing, and it plays a huge important role in you assessing the next part. So step number 1, assess the lie, understand what the different lie will, or how the different lies are going to affect how the ball comes out. The second step in the process is to clearly identify your landing area. I just watch so many people choose a club to chip with and they hit a chip and they're thinking, how hard do I hit this? There's really no plan or no process. I really, and when I'm giving a lesson, I gave someone a lesson earlier this morning and said, oh, you're going to play this shot, where is your landing area? And the guy had to think about it a little bit, and then of course he told me it was halfway to the flag. That's not a very good landing area, because you could be the best at the world in that and it's going to yield bad results. The closer to us the landing area is, the easier the shot becomes, because we don't have to hit it very far in the air. So given that I've got a good lie, and given that it's fairly firm, we're into mid-autumn at the moment, approaching winter, but the course, we haven't had a lot of rain, so the course is still pretty dry. There's a right to left slope quite severely up here. My landing area with this 9-iron that I've got is going to be around about this area in here. So with that in mind, I'm going to think, okay, I want it to land there. It's going to run when it lands there. It's going to kick to the left because of the slope. And I think a 9-iron will do the job quite nicely. So what I do now is I look at my landing area and then I practice my swing. And the swing length determines what I call the air time of the chip. So the air time is what length of swing do I need to land the ball in my landing zone. So I just assess that in my practice swing. You could almost say, well, if I had a ball in my hand, what length of swing would I need to throw the ball to land in my landing zone, which I'm going to do now. Landed reasonably well. That's roughly the length of swing I need when I play this shot. So I'll just rehearse it a couple of times. Good. Now I'll look at my landing area. Landed perfectly on my landing area. The ball is running down. I just hit that a little bit too far past the hole. Did I hit a bad chip shot? No. I hit my landing zone. The ball has rolled too much. That's probably about 10 feet past, which that may be a reasonable result. But then I would think, okay, what part did I miss there? Which leads me to the third step in the process. The third step is in the process is, what club do I need to land in my spot and roll to the flag? I chose a 9-iron. It rolled too far. I really hit my landing area very well. So my execution of the shot was excellent. I just simply chose the wrong club. Just got to look behind, make sure no one's hitting up this hole. So if I had my time over again, I think, okay, that's gone a little bit too far. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is that there is 5 feet of rollout between clubs. So this is a 9-iron. I reckon that was about 10 feet too far. It's rolled out 10 feet too far. If I chose a pitching wedge, it's going to roll 5 feet less. So that still gets me past the hole with a downhill putt. I reckon if I chose a sand wedge in this situation, sorry, I said sand wedge, I mean gap wedge, because there is a club between the pitching wedge and the sand wedge. So if I hit a gap wedge here, landed on my landing zone, I reckon this is going to finish pretty close to the flag. So I'm going to go and grab my gap wedge and I'll hit the shot and we'll see what happens. So I've gone back to the bag and I've grabbed my gap wedge, 50-degree wedge. I've got my landing area identified here. I need to work out what length of swing I need to land the ball in my landing zone. I don't look at the flag anymore because that will cause me to hit it the wrong distance in my landing area. I look at that landing area. Landed perfectly in my landing area. The ball's rolling down and that is about 3 feet from the flag. It's dead level with the flag. So it's rolled 10 feet less. Who would have thought? There's 5 feet gaps in rollout between these clubs. So the 9-iron rolled, the pitching wedge would have rolled a little bit less and the gap wedge rolls a lot less. So if you can start working on those 3 different facets, it's assess the lie, it's identify your landing area and what length of swing you need to use to land in that landing area, and then choose the club that will make the ball roll the right distance. That's really going to help you hit the ball closer to the hole. And after all, that's what we play golf for. We want to get our score lower. If we can chip it closer to the hole, we will lower our score. Of course, if I had a bad lie, I might choose a 6-iron and my landing area could very well be just here. The closer to us our landing area is, the easier the shot becomes. So if you can work through those 3 steps, I know you're going to lower your score. And if you really want to lower your score, I'm going to put a link to another video just up here I know is going to help lower your golf score.